Good afternoon. Hi, HRSE, how are you? Hi, Dubai. This is Dr. Das, Dr. Primankar Das, and I'm here to speak something different. All the day, we have been listening about artificial intelligence, and there is no denial that finally we are in an era which is basically AI-driven world, and we have to really accept the fact that we are standing at an intersection of human intelligence and artificial intelligence. And what could be an interesting fact, that we are really in the phase of transition from the journey of AI to AI. Seems interesting? So let's delve into this and understand that what exactly we have in this presentation today. We all know that we are actually going into a time when exactly we have to reflect ourselves, and we'll find that a humanoid is looking at us. So how exactly it would be in the coming times? Probably our workplace is going to look like this. We'd be working next to a humanoid. Or we still matter. Do you think that we still matter? We are going to be there, right? And as my learned speakers before me have already said, that humans are not going to be replaced. We are going to be there. And that's why I believe this session is so lively. And we are organizing this 22nd HRSE where still we are having human element, right? So what exactly people say? 82% of the leaders agree that high emotional intelligence really boosts up our work. But you know, it has been surveyed that 85% of the employees are still disengaged. Why exactly? We are really embracing AI. We are trying to get into technology. We are going to make sure that we scale up our business. But is it enough? Are we really looking into the AI? In fact, it has been also said that emotional intelligence can only be the magic sauce. And it can really strike a balance. I heard a question from some of my participants here today who basically have asked that how exactly to strike a question, how exactly to make sure that we have a balance between AI and AI, or how exactly to make sure that we are not crossing that limit. Even in the last panel we were just discussing, I was listening to my learned colleague who was discussing about that how actually we can make sure that we are not crossing the threshold. I can just share a small story. Once I basically was with one of my friends who has his own company. He was actually showing me that most of the time he is finding his employees are disengaged. However, every year he is spending huge for their employee welfare. Most recently, after the pandemic, we are discussing about the well-being, right? Before that, people hardly have heard about this term, and we are not even discussing. So if it is so, then what exactly is really different? The thing which is really different is that we really have to reflect upon the fact that we can really become very much technically advanced, but without being emotionally intelligent, we cannot do on. So by the time parallelly we really embrace this new technology, AI, we have to also develop our emotions. And that's why we have come at an age where we have come out from a time when we are not really using those repetitive tasks by a machine. We are now using AI for doing more creative work. So how exactly it can blend on? So there it says that empathy is the glue. Empathy is the glue. So it holds you together with the new workforce and the new style. We have moved on to a time very rapidly. If you see, I was really amazed by the gentleman who basically have shown that there was a time when exactly we are through the Industrial Revolution, and then we have come to a time when this AI integration, so almost 200 years down, and what exactly is going to happen next? We are standing in a time when we are actually finding it difficult to even discuss what is AI. How many of you in the room knows what exactly is AI? I'm sure everybody will say we know, right? But trust me, still we are trying to find the proper definition of what AI is. We are still trying to figure out what exactly this tool is going to be. It's just going to be a hypothesis. It's going to be some kind of technology which is going to make our life easy. or we really have to be blended in, or there has to be always some kind of monitoring. And that's where we have our ethical dilemma. So we actually know that this is a time when we have come through a time when still we are yet to see the final version of AI, when still the machines are learning us. They're trying to emote us. We basically stand at a symbiotic relationship today with AI. So if I say more precisely, they are basically the smart companion. We have all tried to focus on human creativity, but due to the stereotype lifestyle, many a times we have not been able to focus or do justice to our work. So it's time. It's time finally for us to understand that we can leave a symbiotic relationship. We actually have to understand that the technology is here to stay and we have to coexist with that. So let's not go by the fact that 85 million jobs are going to run away by 2025. Let's embrace the fact that 97 million jobs are also going to come. That makes you really clear that more technology-driven jobs, we have to really train our mind, our emotions, how exactly we can go for that. And that is where we will find more leadership, decision-making is going to happen, and we'll find a system which is going to be more adaptive. Let's do a small task. So here we see a pink circle. What is that? And then a blue. So that's emotional intelligence and artificial intelligence. So it's many years have passed since 1990 when exactly Peter Salovey and John has basically coined this EI as a fact, and much after that, Daniel Goleman wrote his book about emotional intelligence, and people everywhere have been talking. So today, when exactly every forum we go, we always talk about emotional intelligence. How exactly it is important? I've really heard since morning I was here and I was listening, people are talking about ethical judgment, empathy. How exactly is going to make a difference? Today, when we talk into AI, we really move into an era where exactly we are standing at an intersection. So let's focus on that. Hybrid decision making is going to be the new thing which we are going to talk about. If emotions are going to help us for human-centric insight and adaptability, then AI-assisted mental health support is going to be a new thing for us. So in a time when exactly we find that we are actually having enhanced foresight, we would definitely find that we have empathy-driven analytics, which is going to give you those important information. In a time when exactly we'll find that your HRs or HRBPs are really trying to find out that how exactly to get the best out of your people, I think it's time for you to rethink how to help your people to get the best out of themselves. So let it be a proactive journey. You cannot, being a business leader, you can every time talk about productivity, how exactly to get the profitability out of a business, but it's important how you empower people, how you empower the crowd, how you empower the people, and that's all about this AI to AI journey. And then finally, we see data analytics and precision, automation, efficiency, and pattern recognition. So all this are going to happen in this new era. Let us talk about some case studies which you think are really going to be here. I'm sure almost it has been discussed throughout the entire day, and it's a beautiful AI summit. So of course, let's talk about talent matching, which is going to be really very interesting. In some of my companies, I've already seen that people are really busy about adopting technology. But you cannot be blind. While you embrace this new technology, you have to understand that how exactly you're going to utilize it by considering your process, your business element. What exactly you are doing to monitor the mental health of your employees. So at times when you find that people cannot reach out to their HR, but people can definitely talk about how exactly their sentiment, their happiness, and every feel-good factor matters, which could be taken care by AI. We can also talk about upskilling. In fact, all day we have been talking about reskilling, upskilling. I think this is a beautiful stance when we can start adapting. And that is how exactly AI is going to enhance AI. This is a very important question. We should really know that what exactly we should do if AI is enhancing, eroding human values. We often talk about that a best person is one who always knows who is he, where he is and why he's there. And that is where we know about values. So 60% of employees are skeptical about AI's ability to uphold ethical standards. Now, what exactly it means that still people have that apprehension. People still think that whether we are really going to do the right thing by giving AI that much of space in our workplace, in our society, in our personal space, we are standing, as I said, in an intersection. It's time for us to understand that how much space we are going to give these bots, these robots, or whether we should really think of getting ourselves blended. So before I come into this thing, I should tell you that bias in AI, we are often talking about the bias. But this bias actually can only be removed when you really have the emotional intelligence, when you really understand that how to really train your emotions. We often understand and get driven by the fact that, okay, I know about emotion, so I mean that I know about myself, but is it all? No. You really need to know that there is something also called as self-management. Before you move into about understanding about your social relationship, you understand about your empathy. You need to understand that what you are and the people around you, and then only you can work out your executive empathy. Privacy matters are really going to be important, but then again, it's us who has to really be aware of that. Self-awareness is very important, and only when you are having enough awareness about yourself, you know that where exactly you need it to encroach or where exactly you need to let it go. So I think this is a call which is really on us to understand that on this special day of AI Summit, we should take a pledge to ourselves that we being the thought leaders, we being the responsible leaders, how exactly we are going to integrate and what kind of impact we are going to make. Because it's said that with big power come big responsibilities. So at the same time, when we say that AI is going to enable us, make us more powerful, we should understand that how we are exactly going to take our decisions more responsibly. It's time for a quiz. So let's see. I would be throwing some questions, and I would basically love to see it more interactive. I loved when one of my fellow speakers came and said that I want to take out the robot out of my human. That's amazing. So let's not it be a robotic session, let it be some kind of human interaction, right? So that we can make sure we are sitting among humans. So what percentage of companies report increased productivity from integrating EI and AI? And now I've flashed the options. So it's 52%, 64%, 82%, or 93%. And the right answer is going to get a surprise from my side at the end of this session. Can I have the answers, please? You can raise your hand, and then my colleague can go with the micro. 93? No, sorry, it's not the right answer. Anyone would like to make a try? 82? That's the right answer. Let's have a round of applause for her. Let's go to the next question. Don't forget to collect the gift from my partner who is there. Which of these best describes the relationship between EI and AI? So here I flashed the answers. Rivals, complement, separate fields or opposites. So all day we have been doing everything, but now it's time to summarize. So I have given you 4 options. The right answers, please raise hands. Who want to say? It's very easy. Yes? Complement. Absolutely. That's the right answer. You also have the same answer? Okay. So also, I consider you. All right. How much productivity improvement do companies report when combining EI and AI? That's again very interesting, right? The option here flashes on the screen. You can see 15%, 25%, 35%, or 47%. Can I see the hands going up? Yes. Absolutely right, 25%. Let's have a round of applause for him. You see, you should not be so mice in clapping, right? That gives you the energy. All right. There's a final question for the quiz. Let's have it Guys, what is one major ethical concern with AI in the workplace? I'm sure everybody knows that, and I'm sure everybody will give the right answer, but still I'll see the hands going up. The answer flashes on your screen. A, cost of implementation. B, emotional detachment and bias. C, AI speed of decision making. D, lack of innovation. How many of you say B? Can you see? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So 4 of you are saying B, right? And that's the right answer. Let's have a round of applause. So we come to an end of this quiz. And definitely now this is the way forward. What exactly we'll be doing? We want to have a life like this? Definitely not. Of course, a life which is blended with AI, so it's going to coexist. And it's just going to coexist and empower each other. So EI and AI is going to support each other. It's going to be hand on hand. And to make sure, if you're really interested in this session and you want that we should carry on this magic further, and if you're really interested, I take the pleasure to announce that today is the inaugural of my new book, that is A Journey from EI to AI. And those who have given the right answers, they are going to get the autographed book today as a prize. And there is a small AV which I would like to play for you. Can we have the sounds here?
Thank you, Doctor, for this presentation. It's not a question, it's really more being the devil's advocate here. A lot of people want to jump on the wagon of AI, and they use the term bias, that AI removes the bias, which is completely wrong, because AI, by definition, is biased. It's a program. Somebody programmed it to be that way. No matter what you do, AI will be even more biased than a human being, specifically because it listens to what it's being said. People listen to what is not being said. When I look at a team member who doesn't look well and I ask him, what's wrong with you? And they say, oh, I'm fine. AI would say, oh, they're fine. But I know that they're not fine and listen to what is not being said. So yeah, I agree with you that it needs to be complemented. The problem is a lot of people want to jump on the wagon of AI and they want AI to do everything. And sooner or later, we will have a legal case where a decision has been made by AI. We haven't seen that legal case yet, but we will see it very, very soon, maybe before the end of this year.
Absolutely. I do agree with what you said. I think here, I just want to add on here, which is really important, that it's not only that we say that AI is basically being designed because the algorithm and the pattern basically being designed by human element, but we should not forget that still it is in the process of learning, and very soon we can find that maybe AIs can also take neutral decision. We never know that. But by this, I should tell you that the bias comes from our beliefs. You imagine that from the time when the first atom is developed in this universe, it is also biased, whether to take birth in this world or not. The first moss and fern which came, it's also biased. The human DNA is also biased, right? So if you really understand this element of bias always be with us, it's a kind of a phenomena which basically is going to stay. But if you really want to understand that how to unbias, first you need to know what is exactly are your core values. And the core takeaways today could be that AI is here to complement and not to replace. It's going to coexist with us, but we need to train our mind to understand that how we exactly can develop that glue of empathy. When we have more understanding for the people around us, we know about others. So before we take up a decision, I think we really use our mind to understand that what amount of empathy, what amount of emotion I really feel for the others, how exactly it pains. I think that should be the right way to complement this. If anyone has got any other questions or anything, any other ideas which you'd like to share, if the micro could be sent there.
Thank you, Professor Pramanker. I suppose it's quite interesting, isn't it? What's going to be more powerful, human intelligence or, biological intelligence or digital intelligence? But I'm just thinking about that earlier question. What's more biased, a human being or a machine?
Can you repeat, please?
What's more biased, a human being or a machine?
Thank you, Gopal. I really love that question. The moment you say that who is more biased, I should give you answer in humans or machines, but I would say that it's the thought which itself is biased. The moment you ask this question, you are biased. You already have a predefined answer, don't you? So, we actually have to clear our mind, we have to clear the baggage. I can just tell you a fact that once a person went to a monk to get a learning, and he offered him a cup of tea, and he kept on pouring the tea till the tea was pouring out and it was overflowing. The gentleman was a bit awestruck. He said, "Oh, master, what are you doing?" He said, "I'm just trying to unlearn you and make you learn new things." So first of all, we have to unlearn the things which we have already been learning so much, because of course it's a new era. And as we start thinking, and some of my friends have shown that we can train a caterpillar, before you move to the butterfly, you need to know how to become the butterfly. And then you know you are no more biased. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Professor Pramanker.